Hope everybody's having a great week. It has been a very eventful week for me. I did have a great time spent, with the family, and been back trying to get some things done. But what I want to iterate, a bad accident, but a little over a week ago, I talked to you guys about the push for a fundraiser for the Black Men Lead Rite of Passage Initiative, specifically, but the work we do at the Odyssey Project on a grand scale in general. And I want to come back to you and again talk to you about supporting the work we do, especially when it comes to Black Men Lead, but just the work we do on a grand scheme of things, from the hours upon hours of research and development, which is researching to understand dilemmas, developing solutions, developing programs, and mechanisms to present solutions and to provide relief. The efforts to provide relief, the Black Men Lead Rite of Passage program, the Restoring Ghettos, Forgotten Daughters programs for young girls and young women, the Music is Life program, which is a program that was designed with the idea of teaching young Black youth how to read music and to play at least one musical instrument, even if that was never going to be their area of passion and purpose. It creates creativity, creates confidence, and a number of other things. We presented that years ago, and on and on and on. But let's just talk briefly about Black Men Lead. Like I said, I presented this, maybe a week ago or a little over a week ago. I can't remember the exact day. And I've been extremely busy doing a bunch of other things. That's why you see me so often in my vehicle, is because there are some things I'm doing to solidify the future for my family and to solidify my legacy in the work that I'm doing on a grand scale. And that includes the Odyssey Project and the work I do in the Black community, but so much more. And so I'm busy. I'm trying to take things to the next level. So I'm real busy when I'm in the office, and I don't always have time to do it the way I would love to do it through a live stream. But I do have a live stream coming to you guys that should be pretty hot. And that's going to be on Friday at 9 a.m. CST. I'll get more information to you on that. But anyway, I've been doing research on the plight of Black men for as long as I can remember, trying to understand where we are, who we are, why we do what we do, why we're viewed the way we're viewed, what do we have working against us, and so much more. Everything from the school to prison pipeline, intimate partner violence, the proclivity of violence among African-American adolescents and young adult males, which is how Black Men Lead was birthed in the first place, was the gaining of an understanding of African-American adolescent and young adult male violence, what precipitates it, what can help you predict it, how can you mitigate it, and so much more. We love to talk about what's going wrong with Black men. We love to talk about how Black men have failed. We love to talk about what things are. And there are solutions. And the thing is, if you want to build strong Black men, you have to start with young Black boys. And I have pushed this and talked about this. I have presented the work. I have done the work for years. When you properly socialize a young Black male, which is what Black Men Lead is about, it's a rite of passage. It's about properly socializing young Black boys into Black manhood. When you properly socialize them, you reduce the chance of them committing violence fivefold. You reduce the chance of them becoming criminal-minded fivefold. You reduce the chance of them becoming incarcerated, again, exponentially. Just properly socializing them. The fact that the problem is the vast majority of young black males have no system through which they are universally socialized. There's no rite of passage on a grand scale. There's no overabundance of male presence where they can just see it properly modeled. So many mechanisms and mediums through which the improper notion of black manhood is being presented. What we don't want them to become is what they see most often. It's our responsibility to do something about that. It's our responsibility to rise to the occasion. It's our responsibility to develop solutions and then carry them through. I have said this before, and I will say this until I take my last breath. If we're ever truly going to experience true empowerment, true liberation, we're going to need black men specifically, black women as well, but black men specifically, to be willing to plant seeds that we will not live long enough to see come to fruition. We have a proclivity as men because we experience very little power in the true sense of power. That's why we fight so much. That's why we're so hyper vigilant about being respected. That's why we act in many ways we do. It's because we don't have or possess any real true power on a grand scale. That's why you've got pastors who are in their 80s and refuse to relinquish leadership. You got organizations the same way. Why? Because that little piece of power is all you've ever experienced. And what we've got to understand is that same dynamic is why you have so many black people in a position to do something looking for quick fixes, band-aids to put on bullet wounds. Why? Because they want to be recognized as the person who did this, the person who fixed this, and they want the pat on the back. They want the accolades to go along with it. And that doesn't matter to me. I don't need the pat on the back. I don't need the accolades. I don't need anybody to tell me what an awesome job I've done. I am truly 100% confident in who I am and work that I'm leaving behind as a black man. And my friend, Dr. Blanchard, who you guys probably saw once again last week when we talked about a research paper we did, and some of that has to deal with young black males. But anyway, one thing that he used to always tell me is that he was afraid that people wouldn't recognize the wealth of information and the volume of work that I've done until after I'm gone. And my response to him each time was, I'm okay with that. We need that. We need men who are okay with letting their legacy speak for them because they're gone. We need men who aren't trying to get the pat on the back, but trying to really, truly present solutions. And those solutions are going to take time. You're not going to undo years upon decades upon decades of dysfunction, frustration, miseducation, misuse, mass incarceration, and everything else. You're not going to undo it in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. You're going to have to actually produce a generation that you've properly socialized, that you've properly educated, that you properly prepared, that you've properly empowered, and then insulated away from all of the things that want to disrupt what you taught and unseat what you taught until they become old enough to actually put it into use. We need to inculcate into the mindset and the psyches of our young boys what it means to be a black man and the depth of the importance of becoming a true, powerful, and functional black man in the community. This isn't about what the black women are doing wrong. This isn't about what black girls are doing. This isn't about giving anybody a pass. This is specifically black men working with black boys saying this is what we need to do. If nobody else ever gets it together, this is what we have to do. If we ever truly want to rise in our own sense, in our own self, in our own identity, this is what we got to do. That's why I've come to you. That's why I've asked you to support the thing. Now, here's the thing. Since I've asked that, we have received absolutely no support. And get this. I understand. Nobody owes anybody anything. We can all continue to do things we want, the way we've been doing them. We don't have to get on code. We don't have to do that. But if we're truly talking about elevation, we're truly talking about liberation, we're truly talking about black empowerment as a reality, then here's what has to happen. We've got to start investing in the people who can make it happen. We got some people with some unbelievable skill sets, some unbelievable gifts, And those are the people that find it the hardest to get support. Oh, you got the non-profit industrial complex raping the community, but putting nothing back into it. Oh, they got all the things that says we're doing this and you should give to us, and they're raping the community. It was the non-profit industrial complex that raped Ferguson, raped the whole freaking movement behind Black Lives Matter. Something we'll be talking about on Friday. And money, millions poured in. Millions. We know for a fact at least 100 million poured in. And I've been doing this for 20 years, and we talking about 10 grand in 20 years. I'm not bitching. I'm simply stating a fact. And I'm simply sitting up saying that if we really want to see something doing, and I'm not the only person. If you don't like me, you don't trust me, I'm good with that. Find somebody you do trust. But what I can tell you is nonprofits aren't doing the work. Boots on the ground people who have put their heart and their mind and their soul into this are doing the work. Shoot, I've had times where I've put my relationship in strain because of how far I'm reaching to make things happen. And I just decided I'm not doing that anymore. So then it became, hey, look. And the thing is, I'm consistently getting people contacting me where this program is necessary. I got people right now I'm working with. I'm gonna have a person interviewing me again that wants to bring this program to Chicago. This is like the third time. But again, people will talk about it, but nobody wants to get behind it. These are the things that we have to be aware of. These are the things that we're going to be honest with ourselves about. Again, I say it again. So all of the naysayers can clear their ears out so they hear me very carefully now. It doesn't have to be me. If nobody supports Black Men Lead ever again, I'm going to keep doing what I do. But if we're talking about doing something on a grand level and you want to talk about dealing with black boys, I'm that dude. I'm that dude that put in the work. I'm that dude that has taken 20-something years of research done by Dr. Joy DeGraw. Yes, she did more than research on what she did to write the book, Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. She's done a great deal of work in the area of African-American adolescent male violence. I've taken it and I've expanded to young adult male violence. Dr. Howard Stevenson out of the University of Pennsylvania, years and years upon work on socialization. He played a major role in my understanding the dynamic of socialization at certain levels and how I would develop my program. All of this stuff is not something that's taken lightly. This is work. This is what it takes. This isn't about sitting up reading a book and then doing lectures. This is about somebody who has read thousands of books. I read 100+ books a year. That doesn't count all the research I read. You don't think that takes time. You don't think dissecting that, interpreting that, making sense of that takes time. That's just that. Then there's the program development. There's the actually implementation of the program once it's developed. There is the need to network and create, the need to actually travel and create. It's so much that goes on that is a part of the cost perspective, and it's not obviously free. But people will talk about how awesome it is, but people won't get behind it. People will say we need it. I get mothers contacting me all the time about sons. I do what I can. I have a few on my desk now that I'm working with, but I can't shoulder that on my dime completely. I have a family to take care of, a family of 13. Yeah, most of them are adults, but hell, they're the most expensive ones. Look, forget all that. Back to what I'm saying. We need your support. If it's not me you want to support, I'm good with that. Find someone with boots on the ground who's actually doing the work. These large organizations are there. This is what I can tell you. And I think Dr. Blanchard even mentioned this the last time we were on The Black Voice, when we sit down and we talked about the paper we just did, the position paper we just wrote from research we gathered about school security. And we talked about violence, we talked about other things. But I think he mentioned this. About 80% of the proceeds from donations to nonprofit organizations go to a salary. It is what it is, you know. Outside of Black Lives Matter and a couple of others that have been out there, people do what they do. It's a business. It's a hustle. I get it. But But my thing is, when your hustle interferes with me being able to help with my people, you know, yes, I'm going to voice my frustration on that, because now it's not just a hustle, it's a thorn in the side to progress, not my progress, but the progress of my people, you know. And so on that note, look, I'm gonna get off. I'll upload this when I get to my next destination, and you act accordingly. But we could definitely use your support. On that note, I'm gonna get off of here and get to where I need to get and do what I need to do. You guys have a great day.